Wow. Hello, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome in. This is Fiercestbard. Hello. Welcome to the stream. We are doing art. We always do art. Right? Right, Coffee? We always do art. Yeah. But yeah, we're doing art today. We're gonna continue drawing. We're gonna continue doing the line art for this image of Zentreya in her Kamen Rider inspired outfit. I'm trying to get the hand pose right, but I actually misremembered what position the hand is for Kamen Rider Double. Actually, I was trying to get her to point, and like basically when Kamen Rider Double does his starting pose before he fights, he points at the villain and he asks them to count their sins. And I was like, you know what? That's kind of appropriate here. So I was like, you know what? That's kind of what I wanted to do. And you know, this is the silly part. I didn't look at a reference for it before I started kind of sketching something out, and I got the pose actually not completely wrong, but it's not the right direction, because number one, his hand is actually down here, like on the side over here. He does not point like the way that I have her, and it's kind of further up here, and then the thumb is in a different place, as well as the rest of the fingers and stuff like that. So I gotta fix that a little bit, and then I will do the line art for it. But yeah, hopefully everybody's having a good Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Yes, it is. For those of you who are of the Cappy persuasion, Happy New Year. It is the Lunar New Year's. For those of you who might actually be of Asian descent of some sort, you know, and who are celebrating that, you know, that's always awesome. You know, hopefully you guys are having lots of red pack money and good luck for the year and stuff like that. Now let's see, how am I doing this? Okay. Yeah, sometimes you just kind of have to look at your own hand as a reference for something like this, because this is not the kind of pose that, you know, is easy to draw, basically. But yeah, you know, like it is the Lunar New Year's, and there's a lot of stuff going on based around that, depending on where you are, especially in Cappy Town. There's a lot of that sort of celebrating going on. Too bad I didn't have the day off because of that, but you know, unfortunately, Freedom Land companies don't normally celebrate the Lunar New Year's. It's just not in the cards, but it's okay. It's okay, you know? It is perfectly fine. So Double's hand is actually a little bit different than how I have hers, right? I have her pinky sticking out just a little bit more, but I wanted to do something just a little bit different than what Double does, because he has his fingers kind of pressed in, like all three of them. I could do that, but I just kind of want her to have something a little bit different from that is all. And then she's got the point. What's up, Golden? How you doing? How you doing? What's going on with you? Yeah, I'm just trying to get a very strangely foreshortened pointer finger here. It's not exactly the easiest thing to draw, unfortunately. Or maybe I do the because you know, like it's not exactly the double pose if I don't have the fingers all like that, and then the last finger sticking out over here doesn't look as awkwardly outside of the whole thing, right? I'm a little sick, but doing all right. How have you been, though, fam? You know what? It's all good. It's all good. Hopefully, you feel better. You know, like I've actually been coming down with a little bit of a cough as of late and stuff like that, right? It got quite a bit colder. And I don't think I've been bundling up as much as I should be. So I've had a cough for a little bit. I was avoiding taking medications for it, like the good stuff to get rid of it. And then finally one day I cracked. I was like, you know what? I've been coughing for a while now. I don't want to cough anymore. I took it even though it's like some of the, like, I don't like the way it tastes. Like there's like a cough syrup called Buckley's. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It tastes like licking a llama's ass. for those of you who remember the old Winamp MP3 player, it kind of tastes like licking the back of a llama's ass. And but you know, damn, does it work? Like, I'm not gonna lie, that shit works. Like, it wakes you up, and then it gets rid of whatever is ailing you. So, you know, I fully endorse the use of the llama's ass syrup. Oh, you know what? The freaking Kamen Rider double hand pose. Okay, yeah, I should have done this. Yeah, this is definitely what I should have done, like from the start. That shit is, yeah, that's working. This is working. Okay, yeah, that's exactly what this image needed. Okay, cool. And then yeah, it's just the time of year where everyone gets sick. I'm better, but I was last, so that's good. At least, hopefully, you feel better though. I mean, I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know about everybody else, but I'm feeling pretty good now. But yeah, it was like the coughing gets annoying, but you know, like in due time, you know. Last week. Oh, okay, got it. Yeah. But yeah, I do hope that you start to feel better, you know, like and quickly, right? Like being sick is never fun. It's never fun. But yeah, you know, and the only thing for me this week is that I am in the crunch now. I am actually in the crunch. So I think for those of you who were here last time, I did announce I got into my first like my first official, no, well, not my first official, but rather I got into, we were able to get into CarrierCon this year for doing the artist alley tabling and stuff like that. So I'm actually in the crunch right now. I'm in crunch time. I have to finish this image. I have to finish the one that I was doing for the Amazing Digital Circus, and if I'm lucky, maybe possibly have one more that I can finish before then, but I seriously doubt that at this point. I have to, because that's probably gonna cause me to have to really grind it out, because I gotta start printing and getting ready for other stuff, because I also have to make some of the signage that I need, and that's gonna be themed after some of the OCs that we have here and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a bunch, you know. Thanks, I appreciate it. You going to a con? That's dope. Yeah, I know. Like, it's not that me and Mooney haven't tabled at a con before. We've done one or two at this point, right? And one of them was unofficially done, right? Mooney was able to table at another con that she got us into, but I wasn't able to make it for that one, so I wasn't there for it, right? And then we were also at Anime Revolution, anime revo, the last anime revo. And the thing about that one is that we got in because Mooney's friend's sister has a friend who couldn't make it, and asked if anybody was wanting to take over their tabling spot, because if nobody took it, it would have just been a blank spot. And the problem with that is that kind of affects the people around too, because if there's nobody in the spot and it's empty, it's sort of like when you go to like a market or something like that and you see like an empty thing there, like you don't really look or pass by that area, you just kind of ignore it, right? So it's like, it was one of those things where it's like, okay, like, let's do it. Like, Mooney suggested we just do it, and in doing it, we helped out everybody around, so like, that was kind of cool. So but this is the first one that we applied to and got in officially, like in the way that you get into these Artist Alley cons, and it's the first one for the year for us. I'm hoping to get us into some other ones afterwards, but like, this is the one that I gotta focus on right now. That's cool. Yeah. And the convention is called that we're going to be at. I can say it now because it's on the website now. Is CarrierCon. So CarrierCon is an event. It's an anime convention that's held on an aircraft carrier that's located in Alameda, in California, right? So basically, it's an aircraft carrier that was converted to a naval museum. And it's kind of cool. It's like if you're into naval history and things like that, right? Or like, just having an interesting setting of being on an aircraft carrier for a convention is like, it's really neat. It's really neat. And I, like, my hope is that it'll be a lot of fun for everybody that's going and that's participating and stuff like that. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I've always wanted to go to cons, but I either get sick or just too far away where it's low-key not worth for me to go. Hopefully that changes this year. Yeah. Luckily for me, like, with this convention, Mooney has some stuff to do, related to some of the projects that she's working with in the area. And then at the same time, it's on the way back to Cappytown for me as well. So it was just very convenient, like the location. So I get what you're saying about the costs and stuff like that, right? Like, going to any convention is a pricey thing, especially if you're thinking about being in the Artist Alley and you get in. It's also kind of pricey in that way too, right? So like, the cost of attending conventions, even as a visitor, is like sometimes, because like, they're not cheap these years, this year, like I saw, like, for example, one of the more popular conventions out there, Otakon, right? Like, Otakon jacked up their prices for not just the Artist Alley, but also for attendees and things like that, right? Because like, Otakon is like, historically one of the better anime conventions that has been going on since the dawn of time and stuff like that. I've only ever gone to 2 of those. For our Otakon, and it was always kind of fun. It was always kind of fun and stuff like that. But I've never gone as an artist. I've always gone as a visitor. Like, attendee, I should say, not a visitor. We're all visitors, but I've only gone as an attendee there and stuff like that. So like, I think that the anime convention experience is worth it at least once, for if you're interested in anime stuff. Like, I think twice might be a bit much if money's tight, but I think for anybody, like, at least going the one time is fun, that's how I feel. Like, if you're able to make it and go, it would be good to at least have that experience at least one time. It's mostly, most people's experience at anime conventions is really attending to buy stuff. I won't lie. I won't lie. That's how my experience was when I used to go as an attendee to these things. I would go mainly to buy stuff from dealer rooms, right? But you know, these days it's so much easier to be online and order the stuff that you like and stuff like that without having to go to a convention, that, you know, like some of the magic is gone. I would say. But you know, still, if especially if there's an event happening that you want to participate in and stuff like that at the convention, those are always good experiences as well. So, you know, overall, highly recommended. Highly recommended. Yeah, it's like I remember going to conventions with some of my friends when I was a younger lad, and those experiences were always they were always interesting. There was one year where we went to Katsucon. Katsucon is another very long running convention, and very popular for amongst anime con goers and stuff like that, right? And that year, it just so now Katsucon always happens around February, I believe, right? Like February, March, around those times, right? That year, it just so happened that there was a blizzard that weekend. We didn't know. We just kind of went to the convention, and we didn't know that there was a blizzard coming and stuff like that, right? And we got snowed in. We got snowed in with a lot of people, and the roads were just like impassable and stuff like that. So we couldn't drive back because we had a friend who could drive us, and we were basically hitching a ride, as it were, to go to the convention, and they couldn't drive on the roads at that point, right? So we actually ended up staying like an extra night in the area, even though you know, it was like, oh boy, how are we gonna do this, right? Because like at that point, it's not like we could, you know, call in sick to work, right? And stuff like that. So it was one of those things where it was like, damn, that was one of the first conventions that I ever went away to with my friends when I could afford to do things like that by myself. Yeah, the experience of it never left. It's very memorable for me, but you know, like we still talk about it from time to time when we get together. Like, oh, remember that time that we got snowed in, and then like we were going to a store. We needed to buy supplies because, you know, like, man, we had to survive. And amazingly, some of the stores were still actually open because I guess they realized that people would be out to forage for survival stuff, right? And we were on the road. We were literally walking in the middle of what would have been a highway, basically. That's just how much snow there was, right? And we were like, you know what? Let's just walk along it. Because, you know, don't walk along highways, by the way. Don't do that if you're not in an emergency snow situation, okay? Please don't do that. It's quite dangerous. But yeah, like, so we were walking along, and then suddenly all of us heard something, like a noise, like a rumbly noise, and I didn't know what was going on. I'm just walking. I'm just a capybara walking on the side of a highway. And then I see some of my friends run past me, and they just go run. And it's like, I'm like, what's going on? I turn around, and there's a snowplow coming. It's trying to shovel all the snow on the side of the road where we were walking, and it was coming pretty darn fast, right? So we all had to run in a diagonal to go to the other side so we didn't get buried. And we could see the snowplow guy trying to signal to us, like, yo, get to the other side. It was kind of ridiculous. The guy honked at us as he was going by, though. It was kind of fun. I think, despite the situation, I think people were, yeah, we were all trying to make the best of it. I think, like, just everybody that was stuck in the situation. I don't remember what year that was anymore, but it was, yeah, it was crazy. Like sometimes when you go on trips with your friends and stuff like that, you have things that happen that are very memorable. Let's just say. But yeah, that's why, like I highly suggest for people to go and have a convention experience. Like you might not get snowed in like we did, but yeah, it really was, like, it was kind of crazy. Like I don't hope that will happen again, obviously, because it's like that was such a pain in the butt. But it's one of those things where it's like, damn, like then you get older, and then you have a job, and you're paying bills and stuff like that, and you don't get to go on adventures like that anymore. You don't get to go. It's okay though. And then I think, what other conventions that I have mostly gone to conventions in and around Cappy Town, to be honest with you, you guys, like, because like Cappy Town has a lot of anime and comic book conventions per year. When I was little, that was like the thing. Like they would just have these conventions at hotels, and they would be starting out basically like just new to the convention scene, starting out, trying to make a name for themselves as an event and get organized and stuff like that, right? And they would just do them at the hotels in the area and stuff like that, right? But they had so many that like it was just kind of crazy. Like, but some of the bigger comic book publishers actually have their headquarters in Cappy Town, or did anyway. I know DC Comics kind of went westwards at some point and stuff like that, so they no longer have their main headquarters there. But there were a lot. So it was almost a guarantee that like whenever that they would want to have a comic convention of some sort in Cappy Town, like as a way to be like, okay, it would be easy for the big two to come and promote all their stuff, and we could probably get a lot of attendees because of that and stuff like that. So and then they started having anime conventions like crazy over there too. And actually the big one for Cappy Town Anime NYC, like they ended up kind of spawning off of Comic-Con. As it were. They used to be the same organization, and then I guess something happened where both conventions were, I don't know what it was, but they separated suddenly. Like the company that was running both of them decided to split off both of them, and they're no longer run by the same company and stuff like that. I think because they realized that both cons would be competitive with each other for the same audience for the most part, because there's a lot of overlap. Like comic book art fiends and comic book collectors, right? There is some overlap between them and anime fans and stuff like that, right? So like you will get the same audiences sometimes for both. Not all the time though. There are some people that love comic stuff and will swear off anime because of that, and vice versa, right? Like obviously, right? But these two conventions being held in Cappy Town kind of had like people who liked both things a lot and stuff like that, right? So it was kind of one of those things where it's like, okay, you're like, we're running these two conventions, but they're eating each other's audiences. So you know what? We're gonna choose one and you guys do your own thing from now on, and then it became two separate things. So yeah, Comic Con in New York area, right? That convention actually ended up that convention used to be the together at this the same convention as Anime NYC, and then anime stuff started getting big, and most comic book conventions were kind of like, okay, let's separate the anime stuff out of our stuff, and then so that's how Anime NYC kind of came to being, and stuff like that, and they started their run. I remember the early ones. They actually had the convention in Times Square, in that area and stuff like that, right? And I remember it being Times Square specifically because they would have it in a hotel nearby. And then for the events, like the panels and stuff like that, they would split the panels off into some of the stores nearby. Like they used to have, I think it's still there, but I'm not sure if it is anymore. I haven't been in so long, but there used to be a Virgin Megastore. Remember those things? From like Virgin, the mobile and airplane company and stuff like that. They used to have a mega store in that area, and what happened was that they would have some of the panels and stuff like that there, and they had some autograph signings. I remember the creator of Mobile Suit Gundam was at one of the conventions at Anime NYC, and it was one of the earlier ones, right? And like his autographing session was actually held in the lobby of that megastore, and it was a really big thing, and he was they gave him like a booth and a table and everything in there, and it was like really fancy for him. And you know, like we went in there. I believe that me and my friends did get an autograph from him on Ashar's counterattack posters that they were handing out, but I don't know where mine's went. I will fully admit that it's been so long that I don't know where it went. I have no idea where the thing is and stuff like that. And it's like, but it was cool. It was cool, you know. Like my friends were very into Mobile Suit Gundam, so you know they ended up having a lot of fun with that one. And you know, they would do like events like that, like in Times Square from time to time. It was kind of crazy. It was like what was it? They one time, I remember. Yeah, it was, yeah. And there was one time when they had like so I think this was when Final Fantasy, which Final Fantasy was it that was coming out? It was 12. Final Fantasy 12 was coming out. They put these posters all over Times Square of all the to advertise the video thing that they were gonna do over there. It was like at a some sort of a meet and greet type of thing where the producer of the game and stuff, they would show the trailer, and then they would have everybody clapping and stuff like that, right? And we actually went, but we noticed that whenever they put up some of the posters to advertise that what they were doing, and where it was, like people were ripping them off of the walls. And it's not because they hated Final Fantasy. It's because they thought the posters were really cool, so they were keeping them. And then like one of the organizers saw some of the fans doing that, and they were like, "Please don't do that. We need that to advertise." It was kind of annoying to them, but I think they should have known that people were gonna do that. Like if as soon as they see Final Fantasy anything, you know, they're gonna fiend for that. So I think that was a miscalculation on their part. Yeah, it was kind of hilarious, like how that happened, you know? They were like, "This is mine now." Yeah, it really was. I think it was kind of hilarious because people were trying to get like somebody was like walking around, like, because I remember there was a group of us that were there, and one of them was somebody was looking for one that had Fran on it and stuff like that, because they really wanted to get the bunny girl. and stuff like that. And so like people were going around like ripping them off the things, and the staff was like, please, we'll give you guys some, stop. Like it was just kind of silly after a while there, you know. Oh, what's interesting too was originally, okay, so I felt a little, I felt a little ripped off for the situation, because they had advertised this thing as a 2-day event, right? Oh wait, hold on. I dropped my pen. Oh no. Okay. This reminds me of an Odd Ones Out animation. He accidentally stole a promo ever for one of his fast food jobs. Oh, really? That's hilarious. Yeah. Oh, man. And then, like, what was it? There was, like, so they promoted this event as a 2-day thing, right? Like, I remember it specifically, like, oh, catch us on these 2 days on Saturday and Sunday, right? And then they were gonna do a video while they're there, so be a part of the promotional video and stuff like that, right? Like that they were gonna do for the premiere of Final Fantasy 12, right? And it was like, oh, we went, and it was like, yeah, that we saw them setting up the cameras and stuff like that, and there were only like 10 of us there. It was not a large crowd at all. It was very small. You know, Final Fantasy was popular, but it still wasn't. For some reason, it just wasn't like. And especially since I guess because it was 12 at that point, and you know the quality of the games had been like, you know, iffy. I mean, I guess yeah, like 11 kind of put a sour taste into people's mouths at that point, because nobody really cared about the online thing. And then it's like, you know, I'm just spitballing why I think this happened, right? But like, you know, it wasn't getting the best reaction, and so like there were only like about 10 or 12 of us that showed up to this thing. And they did the video, and they had us cheer for it and stuff like that. And the promise was like the video was going to be a part of the promotional stuff that they add with the game and stuff like that. And they're going to show it off in Japan to see how, you know, popular Final Fantasy is overseas and things like that, right? Like it was kind of like, wow, that's going to be so cool. But then only like a handful of us showed up. And then the second day, I had read that they did the same exact thing again. A little bit more people showed up, and then they ended up using the video from the second day because more people showed up during the second day. I think that's what it was. And so it was like, rip, yeah, exactly. It was like, oh, come on, right? So it was like, oh wow. You could kind of tell from the looks on the faces of the promo guys, like the marketing people that were running the show the day before. They weren't too happy with the turnout. It was like just a couple of nerds there. No, and that was kind of it. And they were like, oh, oof. So yeah, it was like, oh, okay, I guess we weren't good enough the first day. But yeah, you know, them's the breaks. That's actually unfortunate. I know, right? I was actually hyped for 12 too. I you know, like I know a lot of people did not like Final Fantasy 12 all that much, but I was different. I was actually really looking forward to 12. It had the setting that was really cool. Like I liked the return to the semi-medieval style setting that they were thinking about doing at the time, because it was Ivalice again, and a lot of people that played Final Fantasy Tactics remember Ivalice at the time, right? Like they hadn't overused the setting like they do now, right? But you know, it was kind of cool. And then on top of that, like, you know, some of the character designs were really neat. You know, like Balthier and Fran and granted, I didn't really like Vaughn all that much as a character design, but it was nice, you know. that was a little different, than what they usually do for those types of games, right? And so, like I was hyped. I was hyped. The game eventually did come out, and I did end up playing it, but I was not good at the battle system. Like you would think Bard, how could you not be? You played 11. How could you not be good at that? But I'm like, it was different. There was things about it that were way different than 11, and like, because 11's battle system was completely focused on being an MMORPG, where this one was not. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around some of the what is it called? Gambit system, I think that's what it was called. Where you had to program the characters to fight for you and stuff like that. And I know that that's a favorite for a lot of people, though. I was just telling Mooney, like, the other day, about how people really liked that game later on. Like, it got like retroactively like favorited by a lot of people, because it was like they started to realize how flexible the system was in that game, and they really liked the fact that you could program the characters to basically play the battles out for you and stuff like that. Like, you could do some really amazing things apparently with that system. So it later on became a huge fan favorite for some people, but yeah, it's like, sorry, I had to hydrate illegally. But yeah, like, conventions are fun. Should give it a shot if you haven't, if you can. I know travel is especially hard, given certain world events. Travel is especially hard these days. So not the easiest thing to just kind of pick up and go to a convention and stuff like that these days, right? Especially when if there's no local ones to you in your area and stuff like that's tough, But you never know. Maybe they'll come out with a more local convention, right? Like, a lot of these cons start as grassroots type movements for the area, and like the organizers are usually local fans and stuff like that just happen to really like whatever the con is about, like whether it's anime or comics or anything else, right? So it could happen. The closest one I remember was 2 states over. Oh yeah. Sometimes, yeah, when you're not near one of the major populated centers, I'm very fortunate in that I've lived nearby the big cities and stuff like that, right? So I was able to attend a lot of those, right? But yeah, like, it's tough when like there's no like conventions or something like that like nearby. But it's all good. Maybe maybe the key isn't to hope that there's one that forms nearby, but rather save monies and plan a trip at some point, right? Like with your friends and stuff like that. Maybe it's like an excuse to go on a road trip with everybody, and hopefully you won't get snowed in. Hopefully it's during a time of year where you won't get snowed in and get chased by a giant snowplow down a highway in a state that you're not familiar with. Because I forgot where that Katsucon at the time was in Virginia. I think it was either Virginia or like somewhere in southern Maryland or something like that. It was one of those areas and stuff like that. And man, that snowstorm just hit like hard. That area like got got absolutely blasted. You know. Yeah, right now I'm living near the countryside, thinking about moving though. Oh, okay, you know. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the countryside, right? Like, some people like it, you know. Um, it's just that sometimes maybe, you know, like, for some people, like, I'm not gonna lie, I am like a city cappy, you know, like, when things get too quiet, like if I'm in an area that's like mostly what is it? Mostly like country, like, you know, woodlands, suburban, I should say. If I'm in an area that's mostly suburban, right, and it's too quiet and stuff like that, right? I know a lot of people are like, oh, what the hell, Bard, right? Like, why would that bother you? But it does. When I'm in a place that's way too quiet, it actually kind of unnerves me a lot, quite a bit. I need the noise of things happening around me and stuff like that. And I think it's just because of the way that I grew up and stuff like that, right? So it's like, hold on, let's see how this would go. But yeah, like I need the noise of things happening outside. Otherwise I get like it actually starts to get like it unsettles me. That's what I should say when it's too quiet in any area and stuff. I'm kind of in the middle. It can't be too quiet, but it can't be too loud also. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah, you know, like, yeah, I don't want like explosions happening around me, okay? Like, you know, just for clarifications, it's not that I want, like, you know, freaking, like, you know, like atomic bombs going off all over all hours of the night. But, you know, like, if I don't hear like cars moving around and things like that, I can get a little bit like restless with certain things and stuff like that. I don't know if anybody else gets like that, but, you know, that's kind of been my thing. I'm used to hearing a lot of loud parties happening around here sometimes. Ooh, parties. Are you the type to go to said parties? If you don't mind me asking. Let's see. Oh, okay, so she's got like these grayish colored gloves, and on the gloves are her fingernails in I'm gonna assume that they're glowing and stuff like that too. So yeah, I think I'll be done with this line art today and stuff like that, and then I can get tech sort of started with the Amazing Digital Circus, the coloring. Now, actually, I actually had a lot of help from Mooney on the fan art for the Amazing Digital Circus that I was doing. She helped me to not just fill in a lot of the flat colors, but also to do the shading and stuff like that. And I've already taken a look at what she's done, and it's pretty much exactly what I was gonna do. So I don't have to modify too much of the shadows. It's more about adding to it and stuff like that, adding small details to it and stuff like that could help it to pop a little bit more. And you know, like we've kind of been slowly building up a workflow where I've been doing the line art, and then she's been helping me to color and stuff like that, and then, you know, like she'll pass it back to me for the finish and stuff like that, and it's been working very well for us. So, you know, like as we go through arting more and more, it's like it's working out for sure. Like I feel like the output we're having is increasing a little bit, which is like, you know, it's helpful. It's massively helpful, like a real studio. Yeah, you know. Nah, not really. Unless it's one of my homies' parties or something. Even then, I'm not really a party person, to be honest. Yeah, I feel you. I feel you with that. Like, I'm not the type of person that likes to go to a lot of like gatherings, like for parties and things like that. Even for work, like I think in about like 2 months from now I have to go to like a work uh like I guess it would be like a super party, like a mega work party type of thing. They're gathering everybody from all corners of Freedom Land to come together and celebrate our achievements for the year and stuff like that, right? And it's like, I'm not normally the type to go to these things, but because it's like a work thing, I should probably go, right? Like, it's just one of those things, right? And it's like this year like I don't normally like going. I will be very truthful about that. It's not the fact that I don't like people at work. That's not it. It's just that I'm not a very sociable cappy, as it were. Like I have a hard time in like in settings where I have to deal with lots of people. so I avoid situations like that, though they've been pushing me to be at more of these things, though, because it's like, it's like the thing, right? Like when you work somewhere, they want more camaraderie, I guess, from everybody and stuff like that. And especially when you're one of the more tenured people at said company, they want you to show up more often for these things, even though it's like, okay, I guess. But yeah, that's kind of how it is for me. I'm fine with going out for fun stuff like laser tag or just to go out and eat, but just don't mess with parties and stuff. Yeah, I'm like the same thing too. Like if I go out like to like fun places, I'm usually okay with that, right? Like, and going out with other people there and stuff like that, that's fine for me. But like when it comes to doing that for like parties and stuff like that, then I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'll pass. Because I've never been, even growing up and stuff like that, like going to school and stuff like that, I've never been like the type to have friends who partied like that and things like that, right? Like or go to parties or have parties and things like that. Like I've never been the type to be in crowds like that a lot, So I think it generally it generally like when people who like to party more and stuff like that tend to have like friends who are very similar, so they have people that like to go with them and things like that, right? Like where I've never quite been that myself and stuff like that. So, or I could be wrong about that. I don't know. I don't know what popular people do. I could be totally wrong about that, because I don't know what popular people do. Let's see. Oh, actually, you know what? I do know what popular people do, because I'm clearly popular, right, chat? I'm clearly popular, right? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You guys don't have to answer that question. I know I'm not popular. Um, I'm weird mix of extrovert and introvert. I'm fine going out. Um, I'm just not very sociable. It just depends if I'm in the mood or not, low key. Yeah, you know, like I totally get that. I totally get that. You're popular to me, Moon. I know, Mooney. Thank you. I mean, it depends on what you consider is popular, low key. I know, right? By the way, chat, did you know that Bard is so cool and perfect that that the only fights we get into are apparently in my dreams? That's right. That's right. If you are popular than me, I consider you popular. No, I don't. I don't think I'm more popular than you, Golden. I actually don't think I'm more popular than you. You're a pretty popular guy. I don't know if you know. Well, I'm just making an assumption here now. Now, what am I doing? Holy crap. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out why my tools are all over the place right now. Let's see. There we go. Okay. We figured it out. Nah, you don't think so? You don't think so? But yeah, apparently Mooney had a dream again. Apparently where apparently I did something that I did something to upset because me and Mooney like knock on wood, guys, but me and Mooney have not gotten into like a seriously big fight just yet. I'm not gonna say it's never gonna happen because you never know with stuff, right? But you know, it's not something that's like, you know, common or anything with us. So apparently she had a dream she was telling me about where I did something to really upset her, and it got her really upset. I mean, we almost get into fights, but then we were quick to apologize. Yeah, I think that's what it is, right? Like I think that's the thing. We're very quick to realize, oh shoot, right? Like like this is actually upsetting for you or me and stuff like that. So we're very quick to be like, oh, whoops, my bad, right? You know, like I think and that's because I think too that we communicate, like not that other people don't communicate, but I think we have very open like lines of, hey, okay, like let's talk about this, and then, you know, like we're willing to listen to each other and stuff like that in those situations. So I think we're fortunate in that, but you know, that's not to say that it could never happen, but you know, you hope for the best, right? And you know, there. Okay, that's 2 finger, one more finger, and then I got to do the details of stuff that's on the gloves and the gauntlet. Yeah. Let's see. We're very quick to be like, this isn't worth fighting over. Yeah, you know. The most popular I've ever been is getting a couple thousand plays for a song I made like 4 years ago and got noticed by a couple other producers for about a week, then became that feels like a lot like the way that Twitter works, right? Like sometimes like I'll post like an image like that I finish, and then it's like, oh, it's getting a lot of looks and stuff like that, and then it's like, yeah, this is the big one, and then like the next week I post something, and then like 5 people look at it, and then it's like, oh, okay. I feel that so much, Golden. Your wonderful blessing, your smile brightens up the world. I want nothing but wonderful things to come, Pumpkin. Nothing but wonderful things are coming your way, okay? Not my way, your way. No, you. How you doing, Pumpkin? I'm gonna pull the Keanu Reeves. You're wonderful. Um, I've never been in a special relationship like that, but just like with most relationships, communication is important. Yeah, it's like, sometimes it's just all about talking, like I know that there are some things that are difficult, right? Like, I don't want to minimize what other people go through in their relationships, right? Because everybody's relationship is a little bit different and stuff like that, right? So we all deal with things in different ways, but for me and Mooney, it seems to be working this way. So and my hope is that it will continue to work this way, you know. There. Okay, wait, I have more to clean up. Sorry, I went into sudden concentration mode. When it comes to the arting thing, sometimes I can, like, while I'm doing it, I'll just like forget about the things around me and just be like, let me concentrate on this for a second. If it makes you feel better, Golden, the music producer for Expedition 33 never produced for games and kind of lucked out into finding out about the opportunity. Yeah, you just never know. You never know what's around the corner, right? What's coming around the corner. So, fingernails. Fingernails. Yeah, I'm ironically a bard that does not play music. I wish I could give you some advice and stuff like that on musical things, but I cannot, unfortunately. Or maybe I do play music just secretly. In my secret club where I DJ for people. Speaking of making things, Bart, what if I wanted to pick up a new hobby? What new hobby? Yeah, ever since I heard about that, I've been more proud and excited for being independent music producer and the other music producers out there. Yeah, like you just never know. Like, it's like, for example, like with the art thing that I like I'm like trying to be more dedicated to it and stuff like that as of late. It's sometimes it's all about belief in yourself and not necessarily like, like confidence. Well, yeah, it is confidence, right? Like it's completely a confidence thing. But having a belief in yourself helps so much because there was a time when I wasn't drawing quite as much, if at all, as I do now and stuff like that. And I had very low self-esteem, as not just as like in terms of my own art skill and style, but also like just arting, like just me in general, right? Like I didn't have belief in myself. And that I think that really did affect me quite a bit and stuff like that. And I think when you start to have that self-esteem where you're not the best, but you believe that you can eventually do it, right? Like I think it helps so much, like because right now I still have quite a bit of ways to go in terms of improving my own art style and my own workflow with art. But sometimes you just have to believe that you can do it, right? And that's all it takes. Sorry, I had to take out the sketch just to see very clearly what's going on with this. Okay, there we go. Yeah, and that's a lot of. It's why I always talk about it too. Like whenever I'm doing these art streams and stuff like that, you know, like I think a lot of people underestimate themselves a lot, you know. I feel that I don't know about art, but for me, as long as it gives you purpose and you put your heart into it, I consider it good art. Yeah, you know, and it's like, you know, again, like I feel like a lot of people tend to very much underestimate themselves, right? Like they don't have quite that belief in them in themselves and their own ability to achieve the thing that they want to be good at. And I think a lot of people will give up on doing certain things because of that, which is, it's a choice, you know. I'm not gonna say that it's wrong for anybody to do that. Like if they feel like, you know, that's as far as that they can go with whatever it is that they're doing, and they're okay with it, hey, you know, like more power to you, right? Like, you know, nobody should force themselves to hit their head against a wall for something that, you know, they don't they feel they're okay with already, right? But for a lot of artists, you know, they of any kind, you know, whether it's music or art, illustration or whatever, right? Like, you know, the struggle is to keep yourself motivated to continue to go and stuff like that. And I think for some people, that time will come when they suddenly believe in themselves so much that they will continue to push forward. And that kind of came for me, like a few years ago, you know. And you know, I will say that Mooney's support has also helped to push me quite far in this as well. I will say that helped quite a bit because again, you know, like I didn't have too much self-esteem in terms of accomplishing certain things art-wise and stuff like that, right? But you know, I will say that, you know, having someone that believes in you, you know, does help sometimes. You know, it does help sometimes for someone like me who really needs people to tell me I'm doing okay. But yeah, it started, I don't know, it's like for me with art and stuff like that, it started to click with me, like in all seriousness, it started to click with me in a couple of years ago when I started doing this again. And for whatever reason, like before it never did. But there was one piece of art that I was doing. It wasn't even that good. I think it was sometime when I was drawing May from Guilty Gear. Like it was around that time. Like it was one of the first artwork things that I posted on Twitter and stuff like that, right? Like before that, I didn't really like think that anything I was doing was like decent. But like even though that in hindsight was not that great, it got me to like believe that I could do this somehow. And it was just like ever since I was just like, you know what, I can do this. I'm like did you guys ever see the what was it called, the Team 4 Stars dub of Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball abridged with Piccolo, and Piccolo is like, I can do this. like he's hyping himself up and stuff like that, and he has to tell himself that every time. That was me. that was literally me. That was like, I'm the greatest, I can do this. Yeah, Golden, you know what I'm talking about, right? As someone who suffers from imposter syndrome, sometimes it kind of sucks, but at the end of the day, it gives purpose just to simply love doing it, and being around people who share the same vision and interests helps you a lot. Yeah, you know, I totally get that. I do have that imposter syndrome myself with some of this stuff too. Yeah, it's like because it's almost like, like even now, like we're going into the conventions, the new conventions for 2026, and then I'm looking at other people who table at these conventions, and I see their displays of what products that they have, and what they're selling and stuff like that, and I'm trying to like think of not just, okay, what can I do to match that, but also like, damn, they do such good stuff and they have all this good stuff. Like, what the heck am I doing here? like you get that, you seriously get that imposter syndrome, like when you look at other people's stuff. But then I have to always remind myself that one of the big things and challenges about art is to resist the temptation to compare yourself with someone else. And like, don't compare yourself to your heroes yet. Don't do any of that stuff. Compare yourself to your own work a year ago, and see where you're at. That's actually much more constructive for your own personal growth than it is to compare yourself to your art gods, as it were, right? Like, it makes no sense to compare yourself against like a seasoned pro at arting or doing conventions or doing music and stuff like that, because no matter what, like, how are you going to catch up to them unless you're like amazing, like like you're like this genius of the craft, right? And you're putting out like something that's like once in a lifetime or something like that. But there's no way that you can really compare yourself to someone that you admire in the beginning and be like, oh yes, I'm exactly that great. Like, you got to give yourself room to grow, right? Yeah, like me being a good music producer, nah, it couldn't be me. I know, yeah, like, it's like we all tell ourselves things like that all the time, right? It is in a lot of ways, it is a little bit self-destructive, but like, you also have to remember that like, that's why you don't really want to be comparing yourself to the people you admire so much and stuff like that, because like, that's for later. For now, you give yourself enough room to grow, make mistakes, do the silly things that don't give yourself so much pressure where you have to be perfect all the time and stuff like that. And you'll find that it's more useful to have that mindset for yourself than to constantly putting yourself down because you're not the next whoever, right? Like that's out there and stuff like that. So let's see. I like how I tell myself I'm going to be done with this pretty quickly, and then I find myself oh, I'm still on the hand. I'm gonna be done real quick today, like, with this one. Yeah, for sure, I'm gonna be totally done with this one super fast. No, I always tell myself that though, like with these fan art projects that I do. I'm always like, yeah, today I'm gonna be able to finish this and do the hair, and then I'll be done with the line work, and then like an hour later, you know what? I think I'm gonna be doing this tomorrow too. You told people why she is pointing, right? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. I think I mentioned it earlier, but so her costume is based on Kamen Rider, right? Like this is a series of what's called the tokusatsu shows, for anybody that doesn't know. They're live action special effects superhero shows made in Japan. They have a very long history. And she happens to very much be a fan of one type of these shows where it's a long running series over 40 years now, I think, at this point. No, way over that. Like more like 75 years or something like that. I'm sorry, they started in like the 71, I think, or something like that. It's they're bug themed and stuff. But anyway, she is pointing like this because one of the recent series, Kamen Rider Double, he does a pose where after he transforms into his armor, he points at the villain and he asks them to count their sins. So I figured that it would be kind of a neat like, I know she's not that big of a fan. I don't know if how she feels about Double, actually. I shouldn't say that she's not that big of a fan of Double, but I don't know how she feels about Double. I know X8 is her favorite. But you know, I thought that the pointing pose here actually works for this particular image, so I'm doing it. I'm doing it because of that. Yeah, every time I hear news about a 70-year-old music producer getting a platinum record for producing a Billboard Top 100 single, I'm like, damn, what am I even doing here trying? But that also reminds me that they just simply did something right I haven't done yet, and just simply isn't my time yet. You feel? Yeah, I feel like that's what it is, you know, like, and you know, like, there are definitely people who through many different things happening, like it's accumulation of, you know, like hard work, practicing their talents, and then, like, you know, like sometimes just a little bit of luck too, you know, to in a lot of ways and stuff like that, right? That it came together at the right time for them and stuff like that. So, you know, like, you know, sometimes that's all it is, you know. And, you know, you can't really put yourself down because you didn't, you know, you're not at the same like level, right? Like at the time, you know, sometimes it's just circumstances, right? But, you know, it shouldn't stop you from doing the thing that you like, right? At least I don't think so, you know. Like, it's really easy for me to say, like, oh, you know, like, you should just keep going, because, again, you know, I don't ever want to put down the idea that sometimes things happen in life that prevent you from continuing to do the thing that you like and stuff like that. So you know, like, everybody has a different limit of where they want to go to and be, right, with the stuff. So, you know, I don't want to be like, oh, they gave up, so, you know, like, they're losers or whatever, you know, because of that, you know, like, that's not really, like, the point of that, right? Nah, that's cold as fuck. Yeah, it makes a lot of factors, to be honest. Yeah, it is, you know, it's always like a mix of things that happened or didn't happen and stuff like that. You know, sometimes, you know, like, it's just about how you navigate that afterwards, right? Like, and I think that everybody has the potential, you know, to make a little bit of that for themselves, right? Like, I know that we would all like to have recognition for the things that we do, and, you know, the hobbies that that we're into and stuff like that, right? But just because it doesn't happen right away doesn't mean that it's like, it's too late, it'll never happen, and things like that, you know. Like, I think you know, again, if you give yourself the room to grow and the room to make mistakes and stuff like that, you know, like, it's okay. Like, what was it? I didn't see the video quite yet, but like, you know, it was always a thing with me that I wish that I had started drawing more seriously when I was much younger and stuff like that. Like a lot of circumstances came together when I was growing up that stopped me from exploring artwork, you know, and a lot of it was very much self-inflicted. It wasn't like something that my parents did or anything like that, or, you know, someone else that I could blame and stuff like that, right? Like it wasn't that at all. It was just the fact that like I didn't believe in myself, and I also had the thought in my head that, you know, I needed to do some other things because of like just the circumstances of you know, where my family was, like, you know, financially and things like that, right? So it's like, it's one of those things where I wish that I did it earlier, and I wish I started practicing, and I may be at a better stage than I am now. But at the same time, I think back to some of that, and I'm like, even if I had been practicing much earlier in my life at the arting thing, right? The key thing that I was talking about earlier, that I didn't have that belief in myself, like the confidence in it and stuff like that, right? Would that have been worse, trying to force myself to continue to do something when I didn't even really believe in it myself? And then the moment that I run into issues with it, like, okay, I get a bad review on something like that, like, you know, somebody critiques my work, and then like I crash out completely and stuff like that, right? Like, would that have happened like early, if I had been doing this earlier? I might not even actually be drawing now because of that, because there's some part of me that actually kind of believes that I might have actually given up on arting had I done it earlier, because again, I just didn't have that self belief in my own ability to get better at this at the time. So, you know, like it might have been like necessary for me to work through all that and to get to the level where I'm thinking to myself, you know what, I can kind of do this. Maybe I should continue to do this, right? Like I had to work through that all these years before I got myself to the point where I'm now just kind of doing it, you know? Or at least I'm kind of doing it as much as I can, given my insane trying to do this while maintain a regular job schedule. Let's see. Sorry, I went super quiet again just now because I was trying to get this part, like the exact shape of that on her gauntlet. And there's a lot of armor pieces there, but it's okay. Now it is a foreshortened piece of her ear and stuff like that, right? So it's like there's a lot of it that won't be revealed, except for her hand being bigger there, which is okay and stuff like that, right? So it's like boom. And then there's her shoulder armor. So okay, yeah. And I think it really is never too late, you know? I don't think it's ever really too late for anybody to like get involved in the thing that they like to do and stuff like that. It's just, you know, whether or not you think it's worth it, you know, from a personal standpoint, right? And then I saw like I forget the artist's name on YouTube. Shit, this is bad. I shouldn't forget names. He's rather popular in terms of the art videos that he does. He has the YouTube art school and things like that, right? Like, oh jeez, I'm gonna I'm kicking myself right now for not remembering his name, but he like recently did a video that was talking about this exact topic. I think it was released like almost literally like today and stuff like that, where the topic was about you know, it might be an advantage having started art later rather than having an early start in it. You know, like I don't know, I don't necessarily think that it's an advantage or a disadvantage, but I do think that some like, you know, like some of that video was pretty good. You guys should go check it out. I wish I freaking remembered the name of said super popular artist that I somehow don't know right now. I'm kind of lucky. I started kind of early, playing percussion in middle and high school, and started producing my own music when I was 14 or 15 and still doing it. Won't disclose my exact age, but a young lad in my early 20s. If you don't remember, if you don't consider 20s old, even though I feel twice my age with all my joint problems. Well, I will tell you, Golden. I won't reveal my exact age, but I will tell you that I'm quite a bit older than you. So I still feel like you are quite young in comparison, but that's in comparison to myself, right? Like, you know, for many of you guys, in comparison, you're all babies to me. But that's compared to me, right? Like, you know, it's a little different for some others. But hey, you probably have like because you started practicing an instrument. I'm gonna guess that your joint problems are probably like, well, I shouldn't be asking because I don't want to pry, because that's quite private. But you know, but I hope you know, you remember to take care of yourself. You know, and you know, those things. I hope that there's something that can help with that, because joint problems suck. Joint problems suck. We're old enough to remember the Great Console War of the 2000s. The Great Console War. It happened in a flash, and then the survivors had to pick up the pieces. They had to pick up the pieces where they were all left. Okay, I got that side. Now to go to this side. I gotta redraw a part of her shoulder here because I'm going in a different angle now. A long time ago, after Nintendo destroyed Sega, Sony and Microsoft attempted to dominate the console war for adults. I thought you were gonna start that with the Avatar, the last Airbender thing, and then the Fire Nation attacked. Is that the meme? And then the Fire Nation attacked. They never lived in peace. You know it to be true, yeah. There was no peace. You should, you guys, I don't know if you guys saw the commercials for console war stuff back in the day when they had commercials and stuff like that. Some of them were really messed up, man. Like, some of the whole like when Sonic the Hedgehog came out. Oh my gosh, I'm dating myself. But when Sonic the Hedgehog came out and they had that commercial with Sonic running all over the place, and then freaking they showed the broken down ice cream truck for with Mario Kart on it and stuff like that. And like some of those commercials were really vicious in those days, man. They did not care. They did not care at all. They were just like, you know what? We're gonna do this. Screw this. PlayStation does what Nintendo don't, you know? Oh man. Those commercials work, by the way. I think those commercials were like, you guys might not believe in the power of marketing, but those commercials were seriously working, you know. Meanwhile, Nintendo, will you like to play? Yeah, that's right. That, because, like, okay, for example, like, you know, for the longest time, and I will fully admit to this, for the longest time, when Super Nintendo and Sega were like and Sega Genesis was like the commercial, like the two big consoles and stuff like that. For the longest time in my brain, I did not know that technically speaking, if you actually look at the specs for a Sega Genesis, the Sega Genesis actually had slightly superior specs to a Super Nintendo. The CPU on the Sega Genesis was actually superior, but they didn't advertise it like that. They just called it blast processing, and they were telling everybody that the Sega Genesis had blast processing, right? So like that didn't translate into anything in my brain, because all I remember was thinking that, but Super Nintendo had like 14 million colors and Sega Genesis doesn't. And therefore Super Nintendo was a better system. Like the kind of strange crap that I believed as a young child capybara was just it was amazing. It was amazing. The freaking commercials like really got to me, and I did not I did not know shit, right? Funny you say that, because my doctors don't even know why I have joint problems. Right now, they think I have a weak version of autoimmune deficiency, or a weak immune system in general, and they think that it's from that. Oh, well, I hope, you know, like, again, you know, like, I hope they figure out what's up, and, you know, like, they can have some kind of treatment of some sort, you know, that to help with that, right? Like, you know, like, not everything is like you can fix in a way, but, you know, like, a lot of things you can at least mitigate, right? Like through therapy and whatnot and stuff like that. So I hope that there's something like that for you, you know, like that's the you know, that would be kind of cool. I remember playing Gears of War and Halo 3 back then. No, that's actually crazy. yeah, I was like, I actually had it in my brain that it's like, now it's pretty obvious to everyone, because you look back on this stuff historically and you're like, wow, how did you guys believe that, right? But it worked. Like, the way that they advertised to us and stuff like that, it actually worked. And there was like a weird thing, right, where sometimes a game that was released on Super Nintendo and Genesis, people would compare the two and be like, okay, which one's the better version, right? But there were times when the Super Nintendo version actually looked better, at least on face value. But, you know, like, for a lot of us, we just didn't know that, because you couldn't know. You picked one system, you bought that system, and that's the one you were stuck with, right? Like, you know, like, it's not like these days where, you know, some people maybe have 2 or 3 different systems, if even, you know, like you know, in those days, the young Cappy could only afford the one system, and you had to live with it, and you know, if it sucked, that you're kind of SOL. I also too because I don't I don't worry but don't worry, I'm exercising, watching what I eat and stuff. Oh, nice, you know. PlayStation versus Xbox graphics back in the day. Oh man, the PlayStation 1 versus like the Xbox and stuff, and like yeah, the Xbox was clearly a that was like, you know, in those days you could tell which systems very easily was technically superior, but you know, like I think you know, even in those days you had like most people were like, well, but what games were on there and stuff like that. And I think Xbox was not a bad system at all, but the problem is that, you know, those were still the days when exclusives can make or break your system, right? And I know a lot of people liked Halo, but I wasn't a Halo kid. I had a lot of friends who liked Halo, and you know, I would play it with them when at their place and stuff like that. Like some of my friends in those days, but I was mostly like all about JRPGs in those days. So I very much stuck with the PlayStation stuff, because at the time, like, PlayStation was like having this prolific run of freaking JRPGs all over the place, and it was kind of crazy. There wasn't really a reason for me to switch systems at the time. I grew up both Xbox and PlayStation, and thought it was the same console depending on what game you wanted to play, Loki. I mean, you could get a lot of the same games on both systems. It's just, you know, I remember it became very apparent during the 360 era, like when Xbox 360 was the big system, and it was like most games were somehow running better on the Xbox 360 than they were on the PlayStation, even though technically, you know, technically the PlayStation was the superior system in terms of specs, right? But, you know, nobody really knew how to freaking code for the damn thing, so it was like, you know, and that did not help. That did not help them at all, in that regard. But, you know, like, yeah, you know, like, sometimes you would think that it's like the same system because they both had mostly the same games. It was just there were only like a couple of games that one had that the other one didn't. You know, Microsoft had their stuff like Gears of War, Halo, etc. You know, those types of games, and then PlayStation was leaning heavily on the Japanese game exclusives like Metal Gear in those days. Final Fantasy, for example, like when Final Fantasy like somehow became like a Sony exclusive thing for the longest time, you know. Okay, that does look okay. Okay, there we go. All right, but yeah, you know, fun days. No more console wars though. The console war generation is over. I feel like it's been done for a while now, and like I think the general consensus is if you play games, you have like a Nintendo Switch, and then you have like either one of the consoles or a very good PC. I think that's generally what people do these days. Because that's kind of what I do. Though I do magically have a PlayStation 5. It wasn't a purchase that I made. I had a very fortunate. I was very fortunate in that my friend overdoes it with Christmas presents. Let's just say, they very much are the type of people who above any holiday loves the heck out of Christmas, and they went a little too far, but you know, like I won't complain about it. um, I was low-key lucky because I got a chance to play at least one console from each side. Oh, nice, you know? Yeah, I was mostly like the first like console that I really had to make like a decision on that wasn't something that like my folks were um okay, they were still paying for it obviously for me, right? But it was like this is the first time where when I was like, okay, I had to really decide, you know, like which one to get. It was the first PlayStation was the first one that I was like, okay, we should get this one. And I will fully admit that I did that. I made that choice because of Final Fantasy VII. That was literally the reason I got it. I chose. I made that selection. You know, I think at least for me, it was the right choice. Though now it's kind of funny because I don't have the patience to play many role-playing games. It is kind of funny to think about that. You know, like in retrospect, right? Like um for real, for most of my consoles, I got them from my grandma. Oh, nice. So she kept them and handed them down. That's the reason you got a wife, to get a personal gamer. No, that's not. That's not. It's not. I will beat the accusations. No, that's not the reason. I still have I still have some delusions that I will beat Atelier Ryza 2 at some point this year. Okay, I still have my delusions that I will actually beat that game. Yeah, I remember I started playing that on stream actually, like a while ago now. Actually, I could honestly say like years ago at this point. And it's like I don't know if I will ever go back to playing that on stream, but I will beat it. I will beat it. For me, half of my childhood was Xbox and the other half was PlayStation. And since in my later childhood was PlayStation, I stood with PlayStation. Yeah, you know? Like, I never, I like, okay, it wasn't until I got a job at, you know, video game retails stores, right, that I had, like, multiple systems, because I would literally be, like at the store, and then like stuff would happen, and then I would just end up going home and being like, oh, like I remember one year there was like again, this is like, this will age me, but there was like a pre-order for around Christmas time, I believe, and there was like a version of the Xbox that was Halo themed. Like was it Halo 1 or 2? I don't remember anymore, but it was like a translucent green Halo themed Xbox, and we had them in the back, and so people would come and pick them up and stuff like that, and you know, like they'd be off with them and they would be happy and stuff like that. It was great. There was one that never got picked up, and the person that ordered it never came for it. and nobody ever asked us if we still had it and stuff like that, right? Like this was before the times when you could just go to like the website and just check inventory and be like, okay, I want to order to pick up and stuff like that, right? So like nobody ever asked us to like just you know, out of curiosity or something like that, like, hey, do you guys still have this? Like nobody ever thought to ask us, so it just kind of sat there in the storage room for the longest time. And then like finally one day I was just kind of like, nobody's ever coming for that, are they? And my boss was just kind of, she was kind of like, it's just been there for a while and the guy that wanted it never came for it. So I was like, okay, can I buy it? And she was like, okay. So it was like, oh, all right, sure. Now, I guess I have an Xbox now. So that's how I came to having an Xbox. And what was it? A day later. Crazy, actually, because I never got the chance to play Final Fantasy and most popular franchises. I only just recently got into Metal Gear Solid series. Oh, you got in at a good time too, because they just announced the new Metal Gear collection that's coming out, which is gonna have a version of Guns of the Patriots, Metal Gear Solid 4. That's the only Metal Gear game that of recent that had not been accessible by anyone on another system other than the play, if you still had a PlayStation 3 and stuff like that. So it's like it's a good time to get into Metal Gear if you want to see how it all unfolds. The end of that series is finally available and stuff like that. I'm fucking going into my game selling mode. Holy shit. but yeah, it's a good time to get into Metal Gear basically. I mean, holds usually stop after like what, a week? Yeah, they usually stop after like a week, but for some reason, like nobody thought about this Xbox that's been sitting there for like a month or two. So it was just kind of like there, you know? That's the only Metal Gear that matters. The first one, Metal Gear Solid. The only other popular games I remember playing was Mortal Kombat, God of War, and some Lego games. The Lego games are surprisingly super popular. They are surprisingly popular, I will say. I will say surprisingly only because it's like, you know, I haven't given a thought to Lego in a long time, for whatever reason, but like, so I don't think of them as like, you know, like a really popular IP or anything like that. But man, the people that love Lego, and they love this game, the games that are Lego as well. So. Do you think I would be good at Metal Gear Solid? Mooney, you know that Metal Gear is not a game where you can just mash the attack button, right? Like I'm just making sure of that first. I have to ask the question. That's So far, I've only played Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake, and I loved it. So I'm still kind of behind, but I'm enjoying it so far. Oh, nice. Okay, you know what? Like, surprisingly, actually, you're playing Metal Gear Solid 3. So actually, if you discount all the MSX games or the original 8-bit Nintendo games and stuff like that, if you're not going to go to those OG games, right, you're actually sort of playing the game series in chronological order. So you should probably go to Metal Gear Solid 1 after this, if you can get your hands on a version of 1. Whether it's the PlayStation 1, the one that so I think that there's a version of it on Steam somewhere, or maybe if you're lucky enough and you have the GameCube version that never came out on anything, the remake for GameCube, which was like really wild and crazy. But you know, let's see. You mean I can't murder and ask questions? Like, I mean, like you kind of can. It's just the way that the game is structured. You might. You know what? I would like to see you try to play the game and beat. That's like a challenge, right? Like trying to beat the game by just going all out and not caring about the stealth mission. Like you can actually try to do something like that in the game, right? Like where you just kind of go ham on everything and just like, you know, get through it. But you know, like I don't know how far you would get, but you know, it's worth seeing. I think it's worth exploring that a possibility. Like I feel like Mooney, you would find a strange kinship with Revolver Ocelot. Okay, you would find a very strange kinship with Revolver Ocelot. That's all I'm gonna say. All I'm gonna say about that is you would be a total supporter of 6 bullets is enough to kill anything that moves. Yeah, I'm trying to play in chronological order right now. Oh, nice. Or do you think I would fail because of anxiety? I mean, like the thing is, like if you really try the stealth component of it, right? Like there would be an element of, yeah, like you would have to try hard to stealth and you would get really anxious and jump the gun too much. But it's not like you can't play the game like that. Because, you know, like those games are made so that you're able to go through it however you want and stuff like that. So if you want to go out guns blazing in those games, you can actually. I mean, after the first time you beat the game, they even give you like at least in the original Metal Gear, if you play the game like New Game Plus, like there's items to help you to just have unlimited ammo so you can do stuff like that. So it's like, you know, it is a part of the fun of those games to just, you know, do whatever you wish, right? And now I've realized that I've drawn a lot of like the clavicle and the neckline and the shoulders and stuff like that. It's all covered. Oh man. Oh man. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, and I've also drawn this in the wrong angle, actually. Let me go in. I've got to fix that because that's not gonna work. Yeah, that's not gonna work for me, brother. That's the famous. That's the meme. The meme that wrestling fans always say, because of a certain yellow and red guy who famously ruined a lot of things because of that. Nope. There we go. Okay. Like that. Oh, shoot. Okay. I said like that, and then I immediately erased, like, the wrong thing. Okay, we're gonna finish this line art. We're gonna finish this line art. We're going for it. Low-key, I was getting my ass beat in some of the earlier levels, but I was able to barely get through it. Technically, Konami is having a sale. Yeah, it's because Konami, like they were at Sony's State of Play show, and they announced a ton of games using some of their IPs. So I don't know if you guys are aware of the joke, but Konami basically just remembered that they can make video games. They seem to have freaking forgotten for years there that they make video games, but you know, it looks like they remembered finally. Like there's a new version of Castlevania that they're making that stars Trevor as the main hero. So that's kind of cool. Though the weird part about that Castlevania game for me though is that so it's Trevor Belmont, but his design, he's got a very long ponytail and blonde hair. And it's not the fact that a guy can't have a long ponytail and blonde hair. That's not that. It's the fact that they designed Sypha to look like that. But now in this game, Trevor looks like Sypha in a lot of ways, and I'm like, huh. It's kind of weird. Like I'm not used to seeing this look for Trevor Belmont, so it's like it's kind of weird that I look at his hair and I see Sypha and I don't see Trevor. So I guess it'll be interesting to see if the game how the game turns out. But it looks like it looks like they went back to making it like a what do they call them? The Metroidvania style games. So if you liked those types of games for Castlevania, like Symphony of the Night and you know, Aria of Sorrow, all those weird Metroidvania type games, they're gonna have him like that. Funny, early in the game, I didn't like Ocelot. I thought he was kind of to put it lightly, a jackass. But the more I played, the more I liked Ocelot, and he became one of my favorite characters. Oh, you're gonna. I won't say too much. Yeah. Ocelot is I don't know if I would call him a fan favorite, but he is a very long and enduring part of the series. So I think you know, like his presence in the game is because you know, like he's a very integral part of the Metal Gear lore at this point. So meanwhile, CyberConnect is finally free to release their new game. I know, they made, like, what did they announced a new .hack game? Like, they resurrected that IP from the grave, apparently. It's like something else that I never thought I'd see again. That was a huge surprise for me. When I saw that trailer drop, because again, you know, really did not think we would ever see that hack as something that was happening. Let's see. We're almost there. I know I'm taking like an eternity on this right now, but yeah, there's a lot of this that I didn't realize that I actually did not have to actually draw in. And I did, but it's okay because now You good? I'm being a yapatron right now. No, me. No, no. It's okay. It's okay. It's like it's fun to chatter with you guys. I will say, you know. Uh-oh. Doggo awakens. Why are you barking, Doggo, huh? Damn, it's already been 2 hours. Yeah, I know. Like the time passes really quickly when, like, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but like for me anyway, anytime I'm doing artwork, especially when I'm like at this stage where I'm doing the line work and stuff like that, I feel like when I come on and I start doing this, like suddenly 2 hours will pass and I'm like, damn, where did the time go, right? When I joined stream, it was bright outside. Now it's dark as wow, yeah, yeah, you know? But, you know, the time passing relatively quick is just an indication of, you know, the fact that, number one is that we made lots of good progress, and then number two is the fact that, you know, the company was good, right? Okay, let's see. So her other hand is over here, and it's not going to be the whole hand, unfortunately. It's actually quite covered up, unfortunately, from back here, but it's because she is triggering the mechanism that's on her belt on this side, because like a lot of the rider henshin drivers that are available as toys, they have different different things that they can use to activate special moves and super moves and abilities and stuff like that, right? And hers seemingly are on this belt buckle on either side, so it's a lot like Kamen Rider Agito, like where there's like a device on each side that you can press in or do something with. So when I'm yapping or just chilling in general, time goes by fast for no reason. Like, damn, slow down. What you gotta go move so fast for? You know? Again, it is true, you know, like, especially, yeah, like you mentioned, when you're hanging out with your friends and stuff like that, right? Like, you know, where does the time go, right? Like, it's like you hang out with your friends and then like oh, suddenly it's like 3 hours later somehow, like super fast, and then, you know, like, but I feel like I just got here. You know? Oh, thanks for the reminder to stretch and hydrate. Let me get my hydrate and let me get my stretch. Ugh. I feel like we're so close here that, you know, I'm gonna push myself just a little bit longer, because usually I would be done with stream at this time, but I just need to to go a little bit longer, and I think I can... Though I know Doggo is waiting for me, so I'm gonna try to make this quick. And Stinky Boy needs to walk. So let me do this as fast as I can. Running out of RAM. Yeah, it's kind of fortunate, but I don't mind it. I got you, homie. Yeah, I gotta go in a bit too. Gonna play some games with the homies in a bit. Yeah, nice, you know? I always forget that sometimes you gotta play games. It's actually Mooney that reminds me a lot that, like, oh, like, let's play some Monster Hunter, or let's play this or that. Like, I actually forget to do things that I enjoy from time to time and stuff like that. And it's because, like, I've got like this sense of like I have to be doing the arting all the time, but it doesn't make sense to grind it out sometimes. Like, sometimes you just need like the time to relax, right? Like, you can't always be in overdrive mode like at all times like that, so but yeah, we're almost there. We're almost there. For real, I will try play with them at least either once a week or every other week, depending on if they busy or not. Actually, we haven't played recently because one of my friends is from Poland and is thinking to move to good old America, and we gonna do some fun stuff. Still planning, but yeah, excited for that. Oh, nice, you know? It's always cool when, you know, friends get to get together and do stuff, you know, like in person finally, right? You know what? I might have to sketch that part out and redraw it because it looks weird. It looks really weird when I zoom out. It's like I'm drawing it in a very specific angle. That's okay, but it's not gonna be so okay actually when, because it just looks like really disconnected from the rest of her. So I gotta get rid of it. I gotta start over. But you know what? Since I gotta sketch it out anyway, I will still be able to finish this tonight, but maybe not on stream. I might have to do this one off stream. And you know, update progress for tomorrow's stream. And if but I should be done with this one by tonight. If anything. Also, make some music together in person because he's... Oh, nice! You know, that's always cool. But yeah, I just realized, like, I had her hand resting on top of it, but actually, her hand wouldn't be resting on top of it because that implies that her hand is... Like, where's her thumb gonna go, right? So, like, actually it should be more like her hand is over here with her thumb out, and then like maybe she's got fingers over like that more and stuff like that. Like she's ready to flip the switch on it and stuff like that, right? Like, so I should probably draw it more like that than what I had previously there and stuff. But let me save for now and see where I got with this. Let me just zoom out. Okay, cool. Let's see. And then for the background's one of the more interesting parts for this for me too, because I actually am doing something that's also very much Kamen Rider themed, right? So like I know she's not, again, I know it's not something from one of her favorite Rider shows, right? But she's a dragon themed VTuber. And it just so happens that Kamen Rider has a dragon-themed character named Kamen Rider Ryuki, right? Ryuki actually came out in the States as Kamen Rider Dragon Knight at some point, okay? Like, and it was actually, according to people who have seen it, it was actually a pretty good adaptation. They used the fight footage from the show, but then they replaced all the actors with English-speaking American actors and stuff like that, right? So it was like a production the way that they did Power Rangers back in the day, but it was meant to be more adult in terms of its story content and stuff like that. Because Ryuki is actually a very serious Kamen Rider show, right? Like, um, a lot of people bite the big one in that show. So like it was really cool that they gave it a shot. It didn't catch on, but it's still something that people kind of remember because they even released a game or two for it here in the States and stuff like that. So it was this looked dope so far. Keep up the good work, fam. Yeah, thanks. And I hope you and your friend are able to, uh make the awesome music stuffs together and stuff like that, right? Because again, like I did not appreciate the long distance nature of internet friendships and stuff like that as much as you guys do. I feel like I didn't appreciate it until rather recently, especially after I met Mooney. So I might be a little biased there when it comes to that. But but yeah, like what was I talking about with Ryuki? Basically, Ryuki has a theme with mirrors and stuff like that, right? Like the world in Ryuki is one where there's a separate dimension that's behind every mirror and stuff like that, right? And so they have like this theme of shattering glass and stuff like that in the intro sequence, and I felt like that was I felt like it's very appropriate for this image too. Like again, none of it actually adds up to what is Zentreya's favorite Rider series is with X-Aid, but I think that the appreciation for Rider stuff is more than just from one show and stuff like that, and I think given the stylistic choices made on this particular costume, it makes quite a bit of sense to have a mix of different Rider things represented in this artwork because of that. Since her costume is also a mix of different things that that reference a lot of different shows. I just remember having a Power Rangers game on my old 3DS. Not the same as Kamen Rider, but yeah, just something I remember. Yeah, Power Rangers and Tokusatsu are very much related to Power Rangers and stuff like that, right? Like Power Rangers is, yes, Kamen Rider is and Tokusatsu shows in general like are all related. Like actually, the Super Sentai series actually was just put on hiatus for a while. They're doing the Godzilla thing of putting the series on a break because it wasn't generating sales like they wanted it to in Japan, and there's a lot of reasons for it. But they are putting it on break. So for the first time in I forget how many years it is, there won't be any Super Sentai show that's on in Japan, and as a consequence of that, the Power Rangers series actually has to create their own show from scratch for once, stuff like that, if they do continue it. So that's kind of interesting to hear. I didn't think that something like that would happen, but it is what it is. They've replaced it with promoting a solo IP, an older IP called Space Sheriff Gavan. I think the new one's called Gavan Infinity. And but from what I've seen in the clips, now I think a lot of people like it. I don't know. I can't really judge for myself because I haven't seen the show myself. But from what I've seen in the clips, it seems like they are taking elements of the Super Sentai thing and merging it with the solo hero thing that they that Kamen Rider does a lot. So it's gonna be interesting to see where that goes, you know? Okay. And then inside of the broken glass panels, I think you guys can kind of sneak a peek at it a little bit inside of the sketch there, but I think I'm gonna try to put in elements of other Rider series inside of the broken glass, just to kind of like, you know, reference that stuff. So it's gonna be like a little bit interesting. But yeah, like I think this is for the most part done. I just need to sketch in and draw the rest of that hand by the end of the night, but I think we're there. And the only reason that I am gonna probably log out for the night is because I need to bring my stinky boy to the outer world so that my stinky boy can go poopies. Because he is a poopy. He is a poopy head. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah, I heard people that like it. Oh, okay, yeah. I've never watched Kamen Rider, but heard of it and stuff. Yeah, you know, like, it's not for everyone, you know, like, a lot of people have different likes and dislikes and stuff like that, and Kamen Rider tends to be a very low-budget show, because they can't really do, like, the Hollywood-style special effects and stuff like that, but, you know, it's fun for what it is. I feel like, you know, it's definitely the type of show that's, like, if you know, you know, like, type of thing, right? But yeah, this is where we got to with this. I just gotta draw in the rest of that hand, and then I'll probably indicate the scarf, because the scarf is important to have it flowing and stuff like that, and then I can pass this off to Mooney, and then she can start coloring it and stuff like that. But yeah, that's where we got with this. When I started with this, I actually imagined it to be a very different artwork than this. Than what it became. So, you know, like, I'm very surprised at where it ended up, you know? I low-key liked Power Rangers when I was younger. I wouldn't be surprised if I watched it. I would also like it also. Yeah, it's very similar to Power Rangers in a lot of ways, but it's more... The Kamen Rider series is much more focused on the hero, the title hero, and it has a lot more drama. Like, the early Heisei series Kamen Rider shows were all very dramatic. It was like watching soap operas with superheroes and stuff like that. As the years progressed, it got less and less dramatic, more and more silly with certain things, but sometimes the levity is needed, because sometimes each show, like Kamen Rider Geats, you know, at a surface level, the show is basically like people playing games, but these are kind of like death games, and the winner of the game gets the whatever they want, the wish that they want and stuff like that, to rewrite the world with whatever wish that they have and stuff like that, right? So it can go to very dark places, even though it's a children's show. It as in Kamen Rider, yeah, no problem. But yeah, I think that's it for us tonight, you know, like, wow, 2.5 hours went by pretty quick. But yeah, this is where we got to. I think next time, tomorrow, we're going to be back at the same time, and we are going to be not working on this one. Mooney's gonna help me to add some of the colors to this one was Zentreya, but tomorrow we're gonna be working on this. I actually drew a fan art for the Amazing Digital Circus, which is a favorite of mine, and you know, we're gonna go in and add the details to this artwork and stuff like that. Mooney did an amazing job adding the shadows here. It just needs to be tightened up because there needs to be an extra layer of shadows and highlights on this. So I think, you know, This is full S. Yeah, yeah. I really like all the characters. I really like all the characters from this show. So I had to add like as many of them as I could. I like like I even added like Amigu back here. Hiding in the back and stuff like that. And that's not even all the characters, because there's one character, or rather two, that's gonna appear in the very far background here. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. But yeah, my son is calling me. I'll be back 6 p.m. Eastern time, roughly. And yeah, we're gonna continue arting. So yeah, thanks for dropping by, guys. Like, super appreciate it. And Golden, I hope you have a good time with gaming later. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, bet later, fam. Yeah, later.